that in unity there is strength, and most everyone here in the room, I hope, cares passionately about the survival of Israel, and all like-minded people should come together. I also, before I introduce our speaker and the film, I want to remind you that this is brought to you by Jerusalem University. It's extraordinarily important. The name of our organization is EMET. EMET means truth in Hebrew. And we at EMET really believe that ideas precede policy, and there's a great deal of ignorance out there about the state of Israel. The antidote to ignorance is education. So if you'll, sponsor some of these films, and we could get more people to understand what it is that all of us are up against. I think the events of this past week in Paris, certainly at the bombing of Charlie Hebdo and at the supermarket, the kosher supermarket, has brought it all home that we are actually in a civilizational war, whether or not we want to believe it. And in the world, there's only one state that is really standing in the forefront of Western democracy in the Middle East. One stable state, and that is the state of Israel. And so, before I introduce our speaker, I just would like you to know that he is not just holding down the fort, he and others like him that have the courage to serve in the IDF. But he's not holding down the fort and defending his own people. He's defending all of us from the world of radical Islam, because Israel is the eastern outpost of Western democracy. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Aviv Regev. Aviv is a commander in the IDF. He grew up in Ramat HaGolan. I know he commands how many troops? Yes, many troops, and that's responsible for them. And he is about to go study physics and engineering. And we are indeed honored and privileged to be able to welcome to you today a soldier in this great civilizational war, Aviv Regev. Thank you.
So you won't believe it, but it's a film not about politics. So I'm really glad we're actually here, because it gives a very different perspective and a very different angle with a very different message that you don't hear a lot about. My name is Aviv Regev, and I'm 24 years old. Found the right girl, waiting for the right time. She's actually finishing her Army service today. She's been in the Army for 6 years. And I'm planning on studying electrical engineering and physics in the Technion. That's a little bit about me. How did I get involved with this film, and what am I doing here today? Was a bit of a mystery for me at the beginning. And at the age of 18 in Israel, you enlist in the army like everyone else. Now, for a 108-pound kid with glasses and a dust allergy, it wasn't simple. But I decided to see how far I can push what I believe in, see what I'm willing to fight for, and so I secretly strapped weights to my legs. That's the minimum weight requirement, which was about 10 pounds higher. Made sure the eye doctor understood he wouldn't leave the room if he didn't clear me. And apparently they ask about a lot of different allergies, and cats and dogs and grass and whatever, but not about dust, so I got around that too. And I found myself starting basic training in the paratroopers, which you'll get to see in the film. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but in Israel, it doesn't matter if you plan on being a high-ranking general or a soldier, everyone starts out as privates. That's something that's very different than what goes on here in the States. We don't have West Point. And so I had the right set of skills, and I was very motivated, and I quickly started climbing the ladder of rank. And another aspect that's very unique, and you'll see it very clearly in the film, is that the IDF, the Israel Defense Force, is the people's army, by every definition of the word. And what that means is that we have soldiers from the bottom 10% of society, from the top 10% of society, from big cities, small villages, moshavim, kibbutzim. We have Christians, Muslims, desert nomads, Druze, and Jews together serving in the same platoons equally. And you'll see it in the film. Apart from that, at the age of 22, I was a deputy company commander. I commanded 120 soldiers, and that's my role in the film. And my involvement with the film was that just on the day I recruited my 120 soldiers, I had these cameramen popping out of bushes and starting to take pictures. Now they had all the right paperwork, which was a surprise for me because they just had unprecedented access. They were filming us for 8 months during live fire exercises when we were jumping out of planes. They were literally 100% of the time with us. And so Jerusalem Youth Organization that created this film was really able to capture more than just a film. For me, it's a story. It's my story, and it's the story of thousands of Israeli teenagers. So that the next time that someone, after he sees this film and he hears something about Israel, be it in the headlines or from somewhere else, just remember that in the end we're just teenagers in the IDF that want to serve our country and want to live our lives in peacefully and happily, and that's what we really want to do. And we're in the army by necessity, not by choice.